best teams in the country, right? It's just a great opportunity. It's what's great about this league is that there's, like, throughout the course of a conference season, there's so many awesome opportunities to compete. But, I think they lost one game in Ames the last 2 years. So one game in a 2-year period in their building, that tells you how good, and think about all the people that have come in there. So it tells you how good they are. But, I think it's just a great opportunity for our team to go play against one of the best teams in the country and in one of the best environments in the country. Well, shoot, I hope they've matured over the last 12, it's probably 12 months ago. We played Iowa State, right? It was early February, late January, somewhere in there. So I think it's obvious they've matured to answer that question. And then, I think certainly we'll go through the same process we do to prepare for every game. We'll try to, first off, be ourselves and focus on the things that we do. It always starts with who we are and what we do, and then we'll try to give our guys the best look we can to prepare for how to defend them and also how to play offense against them. Yeah, do you pronounce it correct?
Momcilovic, yeah.
I always, with great players, any players really, but he's a great player. The worst thing you ever want to do is mispronounce their name because you don't want to be disrespectful. But there's some names in this league that have been hard. Now, the last thing I ever want to do is mess that up. But, gosh, the obvious is the way he shoots the basketball, right? He gives them a guy that stretches the floor and creates a lot of space. Those three guards they have are terrific. And when you put him out there, there's even more space for those guys to operate and do the things that they do. But it's not just how well he shoots it. He has such a high, shooting pocket. Like the ball's over top of his head. He's got great size as it is. And then he can shoot it off the bounce, and he can put his body on you. And, like last year, he was shooting it so well off his right shoulder, kind of fading back from 15, 16 feet. It was almost an unguardable shot. So, the shooting ability is important, but the way he gets it off and the different ways he can shoot it. And then you can see, like all young players a year ago, he's taken another step and does a lot more on the floor. But he makes them a much different team, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they're all just so aggressive, all of them, right? All three of them. They're all extremely aggressive in transition. I think they're playing significantly faster up the floor than they did a year ago. They play with a lot of freedom, the three of those guys. And so, to break down, my job's not to analyze their team to that degree. My job's to get our team ready to play their team. So not to not answer your question, Keegan, but from my standpoint, they're all three extremely dangerous. It felt that way last year, and then you've seen the improvement, of all of them, really. I mean, they've all improved from a year ago. You asked about which one specific. Yeah, you asked about Curtis Jones. I mean, he shoots it, he really, really shoots it deep, shoots it off the bounce, and then he's added a little bit more to his game. I think it's fascinating that is he their highest efficiency player statistically, analytically. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Leading scorer, I believe, and he's coming off the bench. I think that's a good lesson for youngsters out there that, it doesn't really matter whether you start or come off the bench or not. I mean, that's on paper, their best offensive player. But that they have a number of great offensive players. It's not my job to figure out who's the best. We got to figure out how to guard all of them. Team years ago that had the same. I've been through it. I've been on that end of it. Generally, that means you got a hell of a defense because I don't think that, like TJ's trying to play that slow defensively. I think his defense is that good that people really struggle to generate a shot early in the clock, in the middle of the clock. And then he's got that. Those guards are really good in transition. They generate a lot of turnovers, but they're running on other stuff this year. So, yeah, that's an interesting dynamic that you don't see often. Like I said, I think there's a team I coached one year that within the league we were in, it was the same. but it generally just speaks to how damn good your defense is and that you're letting your guys play with freedom and pace, which is what it looks like to me when I watch the tape. If they get as active as they're capable of getting after the ball and generating turnovers, there'll be some quicker defensive possessions. But it is hard to get easy baskets against them early in the clock. Hey, he's really good on the ball. First off, he's a good on-ball defender. He's got very, very good defensive instincts, and makes a ton of plays on the ball, whether there's lots of steals or deflections, and kind of has that feel for where to be on the court. And same thing offensively. It's basketball feel. Generally covers both ends of the court, but he's got that and makes him a really, really good defender.